Started shuffling a minute ago, saw the strength card on the bottom of the deck. That's cool. We know all about the strength card. You take a good look at the strength card. I mean, you don't have to take a good look at it. It's pretty obvious. I was talking about this during my astrology talk recently. We see how the lion's all cuddly up with the lady there, right? It's just sweet, capital C-U-T-E sort of vibe, but it's the strength card because it's the king of the jungle. Leo, the lion, because our greatest strength is our heart love and our empathy. We were talking about that. So that's on the bottom of the deck in the middle of my shuffle, my cut right now. Y'all know I'm not a reader. I'm not a real reader. I reach for the energy of the tarot every once in a while. It fascinates me. It always has. We talk about St. John. In the beginning was the Word. Other scriptures would say even before the Word was the image, right? Depending upon how you interpret the language and how the language itself is interpreted and translated through the centuries, right? The image, thou shalt not make any graven image, right? This is a fascinating aspect of esoterica because there is something in these images that are beyond words. And in the original tarot cards, there are no names. For example, on this Nine of Wands that just turned up on the cut, on the shuffle, you just see the Roman numeral on the top, and then the image does the rest. And then Major Arcana, like the Justice card, you get the name on some of the modern versions, but the point is that the story is in the picture. Pictures that are worth 1,000 words. Just like sounds and music that can say things that words cannot. The tarot, the image, something that happens to our senses. What happens to our senses of hearing when beautiful music is heard. Similarly, what happens to our senses of sight when the tarot is seen. There's a subliminal. These ancient pictures and all their different interpretations have. Fascinating thing to me, always has been for years and years. And of course, like I said, I'm not a reader. Not a real one. And again, another aspect I brought up in a recent discourse was, and this was about astrology, the notion, which is my notion, at least, that then as I was, in this case, in the context of astrology, there I was discussing and describing and explaining certain aspects of the astrological language, and yet, at the same time, saying, I'm not a reader, I'm not an astrologer, I couldn't stand to read you necessarily. I might be able to look at someone's chart, but my point to the group gathered there was that that's a gift that a person has to read into something, and astrology was a language that they chose to use, and tarot is another language that they might use, or both. The point is that person has a gift. My gift as a teacher is to understand the big picture of it and to be able to explain it well to oftentimes to people who wouldn't otherwise have known about it, much like a school teacher would, because I used to be a school teacher. The arcana, the ancient wisdom that is in the subliminal messages in these pictures. It's just mind-blowing to me. So on the bottom of the deck we have the world. That's cool. There's the Four of Cups on the top. So under the current astrological transits, this says to me a little bit, this touches upon, if you will, a little bit about, I don't know why, but I'm just going to go down this little path. This reminds me of something we spoke of in that same discourse I mentioned earlier. These two cards and the timing of them, and a particular discussion, or one or two particular discussions that came up during that discussion in one of our recent activations here at the Mudra. And the first one had to do with the fact that over the next year and a half or so, the three outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, are all changing signs. Pluto from Capricorn to Aquarius, which is happening as we speak. Pluto now sitting at between 0 and 1 degrees of Aquarius, continuing to move forward. And over the next little bit, Neptune will be moving out of Pisces into Aries, and Uranus will be moving out of Taurus into Gemini over the next year and a half sort of period. Throughout the retrograde cycles, and as they continue to move and fully inhabit those signs, it takes a bit. But man, oh man, what a momentous time period to be alive. And one of the interesting aspects of the particular signs that are involved in that transition is the fact that all of those 3 outer planets happen to be moving from so-called feminine signs into so-called masculine signs. And to take a closer look at that, Pluto moving from feminine Capricorn into masculine Aquarius, because Earth is feminine, air is masculine. Neptune moving from feminine water Pisces into masculine fire Aries, and Uranus moving from feminine Earth Taurus into masculine air Gemini. When we were referring to masculine and feminine, we are not talking about male female. Those are two different things. And we made some examples of that. One of them being the fact that I'm a triple Capricorn and I'm clearly a man. So we get the point. We need to understand what we're talking about when we're dealing with these words, this language, that we're talking about energy here. Everything is balanced in nature. Feminine and masculine is everywhere and in everyone and everything. Male, female is not. That's a physical, biological, earth, three-dimensional aspect of ourselves. But the nebulousness of such a tumultuous, such a tremendous transit of the 3 outer planets all changing signs within a year and a half period or so. For some reason, these 2 cards made me think of that. Because it's as if to say, because remember the 4 of Cups in a basic, one of the simple ways of describing the 4 of Cups is there's a gift that we don't see. We're preoccupied with the cups on the ground, and the other cup being offered to us, we're not noticing it. This is one of the things that this picture evokes. And with the world, it's as if to say there is a gift. The world has a gift for you, but you can't see it yet because it's too nebulous. It has to move. This great gateway has to be passed before you could see it. But when it does, the world is waiting on the other side, so to speak.